It's a chilly night in Omaha, Nebraska, where UConn women's basketball takes on a top 25 ranked Big East team for a second straight game. It's the 12th ranked Huskies against the 21st ranked Creighton Blue Jays, live on SNY. And hi, everybody, from Omaha with Beck and Kumo. I'm Alan Bestwood. Chelsea Sherrod joins us in just a minute. The Huskies come in riding a 6-game win streak. And, Meg, I think it's fair to say that one of the anchors of this recent run of great form has been the play of the senior Aaliyah Edwards.
And she's playing like a senior. I mean, Aaliyah has been so dominant in the low post, particularly against teams where UConn has that advantage in the lane. She is so strong, playing with such maturity, a tremendous passer. What hustle, and the bounce pass there was just sensational. She's been playing outstanding basketball. When she catches that ball in the low post, she knows what she wants to do with it, and it's really fun to see her playing with such confidence right now.
So Edwards will be one to try and lead the Huskies to a victory over a very difficult opponent. One Gino says is dangerous. Jim Flannery's Creighton Blue Jays. What do they do so well that has Gino so worried?
They do a lot. I mean, they score the ball well. They play incredibly well together. This is a seasoned group of veterans. They take care of the basketball. Emma Ronsick leads a trio of players that are just terrific scorers, but they move well without the basketball. They're just old school basketball players.
Very disciplined, very experienced, playing together for a long time, right? And it's going to be a fascinating matchup, we think, here tonight on their home court. Our starting lineups presented by Subaru of New England. For UConn, the same five now that will go for an 8th consecutive game with Mule, Beckers, Arnold, Shade, and Edwards. And for Creighton, 5 seniors in their starting lineup. Yes, they've all played together for a long time. They're very, very tight as a group. And for Jim Flannery's squad, this is after only losing to UConn by 2 the last time the two teams met last season. This may be their best next shot.
Without a doubt, they're at home. They've got one of the biggest crowds of the season. It's going to be a tough matchup for the Huskies.
And for Gino Auriemma, closing in on 1,200 career wins against just 159 losses. Gino has said nobody's going to go through the Big East schedule undefeated. Tough test for the Huskies tonight. Creighton in the home whites, UConn in the national flag blue road uniforms. Sold out crowd at this quaint little gymnasium. Quaint's not the right word I'm looking for. It's fun when it's packed and it's loud.
Yeah, but I like the quaint. I mean, it's a great place to see a game.
Mule short on the shot, and then Ronsick with the first rebound. Molly on Mogensen. Arnold defending there, had a quick tip of the ball. Edwards all the way outside the three-point line defending. Inbound to Molly, the quick turnaround, short. Becker's on the floor with Molly fighting for the rebound. Molly comes up with it, but Shade takes it away.
What hustle by so many different players, and I like that the refs are letting them play.
Inbound to Edwards, first shot at it, and first bucket.
They can't stop her in that low post.
Leah Edwards had a monster game against Creighton in this gym 1 season ago. More on that in a minute. Here's Lauren Jensen. Edwards tried for the steal, couldn't get it. Ronsick drives, picked up on defense by Mule, and the shot is short.
What helped defense by Mule? Outstanding.
UConn does want to push pace in this game. There's Arnold for 3, yes.
Well, a big concern for Creighton was getting back with transition D.
500th career assist for Nika Mule on that bucket, and the answer from the corner for Jensen.
The All-Big East performer Jensen is a potent scorer from three-point range.
Edwards. Molly defending this time, gets it with the left hand.
Yeah, they're going to try to mix up their defenders on Edwards, and she keeps playing like that. I don't know if anyone will be able to stop her.
Jensen now defended by Edwards. Tries to get the step, cut off well.
But notice those white jerseys. They just keep cutting without the basketball, and they shoot so well.
William Molly with a strong shot and a fight for the rebound. Foul's going to go on Creighton. That'll be Mallory Brake with her first.
Good box out there by Mule.
Our keys to the game are presented by Nissan, and we'll nominate Paige Beckers as having a lot of the keys to victory in this game.
Well, you know, great players rise to the challenge against great teams. And she has played her best against the top 25 opponents, has another opportunity here tonight.
This is a 7th top 25 opponent UConn is facing in this season. There's a turnover by Edwards, called for a travel.
She looks confused. It looked like I believe she shuffled her feet before she put the ball down.
All right, so here is a chance for Creighton to try and close in on UConn's 4-point lead. Drake is probably the only one on the floor, 14 with the ball now, that won't shoot the three from there. Ronsick with the step back, no. And rebound for Aaliyah Edwards.
Tough assignment there by Shade, having to guard Ronsick in the low post.
Beckers with the pull-up. Yes.
Unlike Sunday's game, Beckers has to look to shoot as often as she can, particularly early.
6-point lead for UConn. Here's Jensen, defended by Muir. Mogensen, defended by Beckers. Now Ronsick. Size mismatch in there. The good kick out to Mogensen. That goes for three. Molly Mogensen, the senior from Farmington, Minnesota.
Well, that time Paige went down into the low post. Shade was supposed to rotate over, and she was slow.
3-point UConn lead. Here's Arnold driving. And will draw contact and a foul. And if that's on Break, that's already her second.
And Break started this game. Flannery told us she was going to guard Paige Beckers just because she's long.
So last 6 games for Leah Edwards in this winning streak for UConn, averaging a double-double, shooting 62% from the floor.
Yeah, I think there's a parallel between that double-double and the 6 victories, right?
Yeah.
Got to keep getting her the ball in the low post.
So KK Arnold shoots free throws, subs in for Creighton as Break goes to the bench with those 2 fouls, and Morgan Molly is also taking an early breather, and the free throws both good for the now 4-time Big East Freshman of the Week, KK Arnold.
And the minutes that Arnold and the other 2 freshmen have gotten early in this season was unexpected, but boy, is it helping them out and will help them in the long run.
Shavers there to try and help. Shot missed. Offensive rebound, Gutton. And now Ronsick comes out of the scramble as Aaliyah Edwards went for the steal and missed.
Well, it's not always pretty. But they'll take the 2.
Who hasn't had to say, a coach, it doesn't have to be pretty, but it has to be gritty.
There you go.
Here's Edwards from beyond the free throw line, short, as Beckers can't get position for the rebound. Keani Lockett facing the trap. Beckers gets the steal. Quickly to Arnold for the score.
Outstanding defensive play by Paige Beckers.
11 Lockett and 2 Townsend. A couple of sophomores into the ball game now for Creighton. Ronsick guarded by Shade.
That's quite an assignment for Ashlyn Shade.
Ronsick misses. Huskies collide going for the rebound. That'll be Creighton basketball.
This was an interesting, just pressure on the ball, but nice steal and a terrific finish.
So 5-point UConn lead as Creighton has a 20-second shot clock to work with. Here's Keani Lockett, sophomore, another one of the Minneapolis area players. Now Ronsick with 9 to shoot, short on the shot, and Muir will save it. Now Beckers to Arnold. Dribbles into traffic and tries to get the ball in. And off the good move, and Ashlyn Shade drains the shot. That was a little bit fortunate there for UConn.
Yeah. KK Arnold just got a little bit out of control, but fortunately for the Huskies, they maintained possession and got the 3.
Creighton shooting just 30% in the early going, 3 of 10.
Communication has been really good defensively for UConn. That was Gino Oriema's big concern.
There'll be a foul called on Shade on her way up to try and on Creighton in this matchup of top 25 teams. And under the UConn defensive basket is our Chelsea Sherrod. Her first in-game report brought to you by NJM. Chelsea.
Thank you so much, Alan. Aaliyah Edwards' dominance has been undeniable for the Huskies as of late. And so today at shoot-around, I asked her where her confidence level is right now. And she said, Chelsea, I'm up right now. And Alan, I don't know if you know what that means, but that means that her level of confidence is incredibly high. She said that she gets it from her teammates and her coaches that have been trusting her, and that she's just been feeling really comfortable out on the court. And today at shoot-around, when Coach was digging into his upperclassmen about communicating on defense, the only player that he says does a pretty good job is Aaliyah Edwards. And when I told her that, she laughed and said, that's something I've been working on. But she was excited to hear that from her coach, Alan.
Yeah, as we documented a little bit earlier, too. She has been a force in this 6-game win streak for UConn, and they need more of that to get where they want to go through the course of this season. So Emma Ronsick making the first of her free throws off the Ashlyn Shade foul. Ronsick, the senior from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Good for both. Creighton, the #1 rated team in the country in terms of success rate shooting free throws. They don't get to the line a lot, but when they do, they make them.
Yeah, that was another concern of Gino's today, to not foul them and put them on the line.
Beckers, no. Edwards tries to crash for the rebound, but it's tipped into the hands of Morgan Molly. Back into the ball game for Creighton. Molly inbound to a cutting Ronsick. Ball was knocked away. Here comes Shade. She'll have to back out. Good defensive retreat there by Creighton. And a foul as Edwards takes a nice feed and banks it in.
Edwards was wide open. The good find by Beckers. Nice job by Shade to get the ball up the floor. It was a late whistle, too.
Lauren Jensen gets tagged for the foul. That'll be her first. And so here's Aaliyah Edwards, who in the game here at Creighton a season ago had a then career high 23 points and a career high 20 rebounds. Both game highs in that one night when she and Dorka Juhas just dominated this Creighton team in the paint. Molly guarded by Mule. The left-hand high glass. Nice shot there for...
That's a tough shot.
The senior from Creighton, Nebraska, Morgan Molly. All the way to the other end. In a hurry is Ashlyn Shade.
Transition defense was a big concern of Jim Flannery's. He wants his team to get back and not give up those layups.
9-point UConn lead. Here's Jensen. Lost the handle. Jensen from out beyond the arc to under the basket. Shot misses. Tipped out to Beckers. UConn has a chance to add to its lead. Beckers will take it between players and hit the floor hard. And they'll call that a jump ball. Possession arrow goes to Creighton. That's a good call on the tied-up ball.
It sure was. She went down hard. Really smart defensive play to just grab the ball with 2 hands.
Kennedy Townsend there, the sophomore for Creighton, causing that tie-up. So Aubrey Griffin has checked into the ball game for KK Arnold, first sub of the game for UConn. See if Griffin can have an immediate impact on the game as she has the last few. Aaliyah Edwards has the impact here with the steal and score.
She's been doing that a lot in the top of the key defensively, swatting it away, stealing the ball. Great anticipation.
Miscommunication on offense for Creighton, and the turnover to UConn.
You know, as good as Creighton's offense is, and Flannery's team executes their offense really, really well, but it's really hard to prepare for the defensive pressure of UConn.
Creighton right now is 4 of 12 shooting, while UConn 75%, 9 of 12.
See, Page should have shot that ball.
Steal there from Jensen, and Creighton will try and cut into the lead. UConn up 11. As we get inside of 2 minutes to go in this opening quarter, Molly with the patience, but missed the shot. Second chance opportunity here for the Blue Jays.
And Mule had inside position, but was just too short, even though she was boxing out.
Ronsick off the mark with that one. Edwards with another rebound. Here comes Beckers. Shade, try to force it inside to Griffin.
Well, you know what? She tried to pass the ball, and Griffin was open. It just slipped off her hands.
Jensen hits the floor. No foul call. No basket made.
Home crowd doesn't like the no call.
They do not. There's Edwards to Griffin. And a bucket for Aubrey.
Terrific pass from Edwards.
1 minute to go, quarter number 1. Creighton over 2 minutes since scoring.
UConn looks tired right now.
And a pass intended for Kennedy Townsend, out of bounds. It'll be UConn basketball with 51.4 to go in the quarter. KK Arnold back into the game for Ashlyn Shade. And Molly Mogensen will come into the game for Creighton.
Yeah, I thought Aaliyah Edwards looked tired. This is a smart sub by Gino. 50 seconds to the break, so she'll get this and then the break to get a little bit of a rest.
So UConn on a 6-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes. And going to be a foul called on UConn on a bad screen.
Well, and part of the problem there, now Ice Brady, who committed that foul, has to stand there and set the screen. But Paige Beckers, and Gino said to Chelsea Sherrod after the game the other day, that's one of the things he said to her when he pulled Paige out of the game. You've got to slow down and let the play develop. And there she was just to run her defender into the screen.
Mogensen fouled, going strong to the basket. That'll be on KK Arnold. And so free throws coming here for Creighton. And for the senior from Farmington, Minnesota, Molly Mogensen, team leader in assists, 4th-year player, 2nd-year starter, shooting 47% from 3.
That's an outrageous number. I mean, think of that.
Yeah.
That's about half of the threes that she attempts. She's made 17 of 36. That is a crazy good number.
Pretty strong. So the free throws snap the scoreless streak for the Jays. And now UConn with an opportunity to hold for the last shot of this opening quarter.
I would imagine the last shot would be taken by Paige Beckers.
Griffin sets the screen. Tries to post up. Beckers will drive and score. 6.5 to go when that goes through the twine. Now pressure from Griffin to try and keep the last shot. And it's wide right from Jensen from beyond midcourt. What did you think of that first quarter?
You know what, Tip? You know, I thought UConn started pretty strong. I was impressed with their defensive intensity and communication.
Huskies by 13 after 1. An advantage and some interesting numbers for quarter number 1.
Well, the way UConn is sharing the basketball so far in this game has been impressive. 8 assists. How about that pass from Beckers into Edwards, a nice left-handed finish. And that extra pass to the freshman Shade. Mules got a bunch of assists. And there, her 500th assist for her career to KK Arnold.
Yeah, so UConn winning the sharing the ball battle right now successfully.
Yeah, 8 assists on 11 field goals is very good, and it's something that UConn teams traditionally have done, but they haven't done a great job of it this year. This is the best they've been.
And points in the paint, another area of concern. After the way UConn dominated the paint in the game here a year ago, well, they've dominated so far in this game also.
Ah, look who's here. Paige's grandparents. 2 of my favorite people in the world. 7-hour drive to get here, by the way.
7, wow.
7.
Well, this is, as far as conference play goes, the furthest west we go. Right, we're west, yes, we're west of Milwaukee,
Not even sure
yes.
where we are.
I know where we are. So here we go, second quarter for UConn.
I mean, this is such an incredible angle to just see a really good defense there by the white jerseys.
Beckers for 3. That was using the Brady screen, right?
Absolutely. Just love that angle. Nice hands there by Ice Brady. Watch 25. And Paige used the screen, created the space, and knocked it down.
UConn up 16. Molly. Now Jamie Horan, 12 into the ball game. And going to be a foul. I think Mule had a little hold on Morgan Molly, and they'll call that on Nika. Paige Beckers has been very good so far tonight.
You know, she's just efficient. We talk about it all the time. She doesn't shoot enough, but boy, is she efficient.
Morgan Molly with a bucket for Creighton. That's her second made shot of the night. That one for 2. Not sure who that pass was intended for, but it ended up Griffin to Mule. Beckers loses the handle. Arnold with 4 to shoot. Got it.
Well, Beckers looked at the official like, I got hit in the face, and she did get bumped, but she also, I thought, walked and shuffled her feet and then walked on the back end, too, and she lost the ball. So probably good the whistle didn't blow that time, Paige.
KK Arnold shooting 40% from 3 for a freshman. There's Jensen from outside, no, and Beckers has it far right to her for the rebound.
UConn's half-court defense has been tremendous.
Brady was backing away from the direction that pass went.
Well, you know what? She was working really hard to get position. It wasn't a great pass from Nika, and Gino's yelling at her for it.
Nika Mule in this game already with 4 assists and 3 rebounds, having taken just the 1 shot. So Creighton facing its largest deficit of the season right now and facing it to UConn. Molly hits a cutting Ronsick. Griffin can't get there in time to stop the shot. Emma Ronsick, leading scorer for the Jays with that bucket. Mallory Drake back into the ball game for Creighton with her 2 fouls. Defending there and knocked that pass headed toward Griffin away.
Yeah, it's 2 passes in a row by Mule. I think she's coming out.
Shea waits to check in. That rattles around and out. Bodies on the floor. And Huskies on the run.
Brady got away with a foul there.
Mule hits the top of the backboard. Griffin with an offensive board. And will draw the foul.
Lauren Jensen was trying to say she walked before she got fouled.
That was on Mogensen. That'll be her first as Aaliyah Edwards and Ashlyn Shade come back into the ball game. Ice Brady and Nika Mule will go to the bench for UConn. So Aubrey Griffin stepping to the line to shoot free throws, something that she's done very well this year, 74% from the stripe. Griffin already with 6 double-digit scoring games this season, including 2 for 20 or more points.
She's been electrifying off the bench.
And makes them both.
Boy, can she change a game when she comes in.
She right now guards Morgan Molly, one of the very tough threats for Creighton. Another one of those players that just never stops moving.
You watch these white jerseys, they never stop moving. The back cuts, if you deny them there's a screen for Jensen.
How about that long cross-court pass from Ronsick to Jensen, who drains the shot.
And they worked, Gino is screaming at Morgan Valley on the bench because they worked on this all morning at shoot-around. When the ball's in the air, you got to move your feet.
Edwards strong to the rim, but put it over the top, gets the rebound back in the traffic.
Wow.
Finds an open Beckers, who drains the 3. Timeout, Creighton. That should make the family cheering section happy. Into double digits for Paige with 10 points now, 4 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 2 from outside. Unstoppable is a word that Aaliyah has used to be the attitude she wants to embrace throughout this season. So off the Creighton timeout. Jim Flannery's squad looking to see if they can dial up something to crack into this UConn lead. From outside, that's too strong from Kennedy Townsend. And here come the Huskies on the run.
UConn wants to keep this an up-paced tempo.
Arnold tries to dump it off to Edwards, but Aaliyah was in traffic. So now UConn will try and trap. There's break into Ronsick. Arnold gets down on the floor, grabs both hands on the ball, and ties it up.
Boy, did she get lucky. You want to talk about athleticism. She's slipping. Really good hustle to recover by everyone, but as she's falling, she just grabbed the ball.
So,
what a savvy play there by the freshman.
And the possession arrow, it will remain in the hands of the Jays. Townsend from inside the free throw stripe with Edwards trying to defend.
Yeah, I thought it got tipped.
Officials confer, and it will remain with Creighton.
Yeah, that's the right call. It got tipped.
So Creighton sets up with 10 on the shot clock. Edwards quickly out to try and steal it away. That was going to be a big collision. Becker's wisely pulled up. 2 to shoot, 1 to shoot. And the long heave goes in.
Wow.
From Kennedy Townsend.
Unbelievable shot by Townsend.
She hit one like that at the end of the first quarter in their game against St. John's on Saturday. Same thing. Desperation shot as Beckers gets fouled trying to split defenders on her way to the rim.
That's exactly what Creighton needed. Oh! That light is the indicator. That light was illuminated while the ball was still in her hands.
Wow. Wow, well, it counts. And Kennedy Townsend will put 3 in her score column, while Paige Beckers shoots free throws here for UConn.
Wow, still in her hand.
Yep. All right, so Beckers adds a couple there from the free throw stripe, up to 12 for Paige in this one. 40-24, and now Beckers with a steal and a score. Make it 14 for Beckers. There's Mogensen now. Break from the corner. That doesn't go.
Yeah, lack of communication there. One of the few times a Creighton player left wide open in the corner.
Well, on the other side of that, as Beckers pulls up and hits again. Mallory Brake is not a three-point shooter normally, and part of the discussion in the shoot-around this morning was 14's not going to shoot a 3. Well, she did there. Very, very rare. In fact, that's only the 7th three-pointer she's taken all year. There's Ronsick. She will fire the 3. That falls right to Aaliyah Edwards. Looks like Nika Mule might have taken some contact on the nose as she comes out of there. But none the worse for wear. Caden Samuels and KK Arnold waiting to check in for UConn. Morgan Molly waiting to check in, and a nice pass from Mule to Shade for a bucket.
And Mule wanted that pass from the top of the key because she saw Shade cutting and she wanted to fire the ball into her.
8-0 UConn run. 22-point lead, largest of the ball game. There's break, that doesn't go, and there'll be a foul called, and that is going to be, it's going to be on UConn. They're going to call Aubrey Griffin for that foul, it looks like. And subs will come in here for both sides. Was it Griffin? Yes, it was Griffin. Okay. So that's for Aubrey's first. There's Arnold right there again. Molly, no. And Edwards with the rebound. Meg, both offensively and defensively, the energy UConn is playing with here tonight. As that'll draw a foul. As Arnold goes hard to the floor, gets up okay.
Yeah, UConn has looked exceptional the last 2 games, you know, save for the first 5 minutes against Marquette. But for the remaining 35 minutes of that game and so far in this first half, they have played outstanding, really up-tempo, swarming on the defensive end and then turning that defense into offense.
Nice round of applause for Aaliyah Edwards from the head coach as she goes to the bench to take a breather here with 3:21 to go.
Well, yeah, the breather you bring up is a good point because can they continue to play at this pace with only bringing a few players in off the bench? That's going to be the question as we get into February and March.
So Arnold is good with the free throws. Ice Brady is into the ball game for Aaliyah Edwards, along with Shade, Mule, Samuels, and Arnold. Corner shot from Mogensen, no, and Creighton Samuels gets her first stat of the ball game with a rebound. Mule will drive and pull up. Off glass, Nika Mule. First points of the night.
Boy, has her role changed a lot from last year to this year. But she'll do whatever it takes.
Ronsick with the pull-up as 2 defenders closed in front of her. She just stopped and popped. So Ronsick with points for a total of 8 in the ball game now. Here's Shade. Brady. Shade. Rattles around and out. Brady with the rebound. Samuels for 3. Got it.
The freshman Samuels comes in. Gets the bench up and excited with the 3, but you know, you got to give the credit to Ice Brady for tracking down that offensive rebound and keeping that play alive.
4 freshmen and a senior on the floor for UConn in the final 2 minutes of this first half. Pass stolen by Mule, but she can't corral it, and it will remain Creighton's basketball. Gary Apple and Carol Walters will have all the first half highlights and analysis on the UConn Women's Basketball Halftime Show presented by Duncan coming up in just a couple of moments. I'm sure the performance of Paige Beckers will be talked about from Studio 31. 16 points on 6 of 7 shooting in the ballgame for Paige. 9 to shoot here for Creighton. Jensen works through the Molly screen and gets right between all of the UConn defenders for the bucket.
Yeah, nice persistence by Jensen to just not give up on that play.
UConn 33 possessions, 23 scores. Making now 23 of 34. And that is going to be a floater from Lockett. No, Brady with a rebound, and she's knocked down and fouled. That'll be Morgan Molly with the foul. And that'll be her first. So UConn basketball, minute 25 to go. And Paige Beckers coming back to the scorer's table to check back in. Mallory Brake checks back in for Creighton. Emma Ronsick to the bench. KK Arnold to the bench for UConn. Jim got quiet when Paige was dribbling up there, huh? Inbound to Brady, and as she tries to go to the rim, she gets fouled.
Really like what I've seen out of Ice Brady here. She's needed a breakout game, I think, to give herself some confidence. She's a talented player that just hasn't shown it yet. Maybe today will be the first step in that process.
2 rebounds, 2 assists so far in the game for the redshirt freshman. That was that free throw, the first shot she's taken in the ballgame. 1 of 2 there for Ice. So a couple of freshmen check in for Creighton, Brittany Harshaw and Michaela Miller for this final minute 10 of quarter number 2. And UConn will bring some front court pressure here on the inbounds play. Jensen got it. stepped back on the defensive switch and made the shot over Brady, and now 45 seconds to go. Here's Beckers. Off the Brady screen. Into Brady, in traffic. And that's going to be a UConn basketball with 19 on the shot clock. Ashlyn Shade for two, no. And the ball goes directly to Keani Lockett as Creighton tries to run. Good defensive retreat by UConn. About a 3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock here. Jensen with the stare down with Nika Mule. Almost lost the handle trying to recover. 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot. Lockett is fouled by Samuels as the shot clock sits at 1 second. And so that'll be the first foul on Samuels in the game.
That was a freshman mistake. You never want to commit a foul at that late point in the shot clock as they're throwing up a desperation shot. And now you bail her out.
And Gino sending some rebounding muscle back into the ball game as Aaliyah Edwards and Aubrey Griffin check back in for these final 4.8 seconds. And here is Keani Lockett, the sophomore from Minneapolis, stepping to the free throw line. She's nearly doubled her minutes per game from last season to this season, earning a regular spot in Jim Flannery's rotation. And gets both of the free throws to go. Beckers to Griffin. Tried to throw it up before the shot clock ran out and just was a little too short on that one. But UConn builds a terrific 53-32 advantage. At halftime, Husky shooting 66% from the floor and 75% from three in these opening 2 periods. And Jim Flannery's team looking to talk things over and see what they can do to get some momentum. Our halftime interview with Gino is presented by GMC. Chelsea?
Coach, since the first 5 minutes of that Marquette game, your team has responded with such great energy. You knew that this game would be fast-paced. How do you feel about the intensity that they're playing with so far?
Well, I like how aggressive we are at both ends of the floor. You know, I said they're a very difficult team to guard, and it doesn't matter what your lead is. I mean, they can come down and they can make 10 threes in a row. I mean, they're just a dangerous team. But like I said earlier, you know, our offense has got to be taking advantage of all of their misses. And I thought in the first half we did that. Paige was really aggressive. Aaliyah was terrific. So, you know, if we can keep up that kind of aggressiveness, we'll be fine.
Speaking of Paige, at the end of the first quarter, I saw you talking about the screens and setting them and waiting for them. That's something that you talked to her about when you pulled her out of that Marquette game. How do you think she's progressing with that tonight?
Well, much better, obviously, because she's getting a lot of open shots. Again, she's too unselfish for her own good. So, you know, we're going to be dealing with that for as long as she's here. But that's not a bad problem to have.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Chelsea, thanks. Paige Beckers is the leading scorer in the ball game. 16 points to lead the way for UConn. The halftime show coming up. Huskies up 21. Halftime in Omaha. Basketball runs on Duncan. By Subaru of New England. Find your authorized Subaru retailer at SubaruofNewEngland.com. And by Hartford Healthcare. The future of health starts here at Hartford Healthcare. You know, you can watch live UConn women's basketball games, plus pre, half, and post-game shows and all SNY programming anytime, anywhere, on any device with the SNY app. Scan that code on your screen now and download it if you have not done so already. So 53-29 is the adjusted score, as they can do by the rule book. The officials went back and reviewed that three-pointer that we saw as being late getting away, and it has been taken away from Creighton. So it's a 24-point Husky lead as the teams get ready to start quarter number 3. With Megan Kumo, Alan Bestwick, Chelsea Saradri joins us shortly. So Paige Beckers did what Gino talks about wanting her to do. She took over the ball game, especially in that second quarter.
She did. She's still a little bit too unselfish, but efficient nonetheless. had a terrific first half, and as you mentioned, that second quarter in particular, just her ability to affect the game, not only on the offensive end, but with the steal and her dribble to the left, pull up is outstanding. Was perfect from three-point range as well. 16 points, 3 assists, 6 of 7 from the floor, 2 of 2 from three-point range. And as her coach told Chelsea at halftime, she's still too unselfish for her own good.
Missed a single shot in that entire first half. And for Creighton, their leading scorer, Emma Ronsick, averaging 18 a season, has 8 after that first half, has struggled to get, and the entire team has struggled to get the three-shot going.
Well, you know, and as we've talked a lot about Jim Flannery and what a good coach he is and what a well-coached team Creighton is, but it is really difficult to prepare for the type of defensive pressure that UConn can put on you in the half court and the full court. And I thought in this game, their half-court defense in that first half was spectacular.
One of the things that we discussed among ourselves was, okay, you did that at home Sunday. Now can you bring that on the road? Well, before what is a very full gymnasium of mostly partisan Creighton fans, the Huskies have brought the energy through the first half of this one.
Yeah, they've been very disruptive on that defensive end.
Beckers to start the scoring account of quarter number 3.
And that will make, I mean, certainly her grandparents will be happy, and his other family members are also here, but that'll make her coach very happy that she shot the ball the first time she touched it.
56-29. Ball will go out of bounds off of Leah Edwards, who comes up with a big smile. It's being discussed. I saw Joe Vasili point toward Creighton basketball.
I thought I saw him go the other way because I thought it went off of Ronsick's leg.
Jensen dumps it into Ronsick. And they're going to call KK Arnold for what will be her second foul.
It was really good rotation, too. But you can't, when you swipe your arm down like that, the refs are going to call it.
So here's Ronsick, part of that super experienced group from Creighton, some of whom went and played in the USA Basketball 3-on-3 tournament this summer out in Colorado, and that Creighton group won it.
Spectacular. Yeah, they did an unbelievable job.
So 56-30 the score. Here's Edwards working on break, gets her own miss back, gets fouled, trying to put the ball back up. Let's check in with Chelsea.
Yeah, Alan, I talked with Coach Flannery, and I said, Coach, how do you get back in this game? And he said, no one can be a superhero, but we've got to do the simple things. He said we've got to be better on the defensive glass and in transition defense. He also said offensively, we have to do better at scoring in the post and in the perimeter with mismatches. So that's something that they're going to try to do in the second half, Alan.
All right, Chelsea, thanks. So that foul on Molly Mogensen, her third. And Aaliyah Edwards can't get the second to go. Ball on the floor, and they'll get Nika Muehl on that foul as she was tied up around Mogensen. That'll be Nika's second.
And, you know, that's an unnecessary foul that Nika Muehl just committed. Why are you doing that? There's no reason to commit the foul there.
The fine line between aggressively trying to get a loose ball and when someone else has gained possession of the ball.
And bruising someone's forearm.
Yes, yes. Here's Beckers. Going to take it all the way in. How about that one doesn't go? Only the second missed shot of the night for Beckers. There's Ronsick strong to the rim. Contact, and that'll be a foul. Ashlyn Shade will be called for that one, her second. Jamie Horan checks into the ball game for Creighton. Mallory Brake goes to the bench, and Ronsick back at the free throw stripe again. That's one way to try and cut into the deficit, is make points while the clock is stopped.
And Gino had said that the last thing that UConn wants to do is put Creighton on the foul line. They're too good a free throw shooting team.
And this ball game, 9 of 10 shooting free throws for the Blue Jays. KK Arnold doesn't get that to go, and Mogensen will let that go out of bounds. Empty possession for UConn, and it will be Creighton basketball.
Energy doesn't feel the same right now for UConn. And sometimes, sometimes a big lead can lull you into that, but, a mature team and a smart team won't be lulled, won't let themselves be lulled.
Ball on the floor. Arnold gets it to Mule. Shade. Oh, around and out. That was definitely a road bounce.
That was cruel.
2 minutes played in this quarter. There's Ronsick. What a tough turnaround shot over Edwards.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem for Ronsick is she's got to work so hard just to get a fadeaway shot.
Oh. I know what some UConn fans are thinking. Somebody check that rim. Make sure a ball can actually go through it. Jensen, too strong.
I think both teams are exhausted right now.
A lot of balls being thrown up at the rim, and none of them going in. Here's Shade. No. All the way out to Arnold on the rebound, and she'll pull it back out.
Smart play. Run some offense. Execute something.
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 Arnold to Edwards. Nope, they'll call the foul on KK Arnold as she went barreling into Jamie Horan.
I think it was sold pretty well by Horan.
It was. Got the call, and a UConn turnover. UConn one of, well, they're 0 for their last 6 now, and 1 of 7 in this half. They only had 10 misses in the entire first half altogether. There's Jensen going wide open. Horan, no. Arnold bats the rebound to Shade. Aubrey Griffin waiting at the scorer's table to check in, maybe try and change the energy on the floor for the Huskies.
And that's what she does so well, to come in and change the complexion of the game. I like this decision by Beckers to slow it down and execute something.
Mule. No. And the scoring drought of over 2.5 minutes continues for UConn. Here's Townsend. Now Horan. Jensen. No. And aggressive rebounding there from Mule. Well, UConn 0 for their last 7. Creighton 2.5 minutes without scoring. UConn 3 minutes without scoring.
As pretty as the first half was, the second half is anything but. To me, yeah, get the ball in Becker's hand. Let her take the shot.
Looks off the Edwards screen. No, Edwards with the rebound, and the foul is whistled as she tried to bring it back down to the floor. UConn women's basketball has 5 Big East battles at home this February, including Seton Hall and Georgetown. Head to UConnTickets.com and get your tickets for these exciting matchups. So Arnold to the bench. Griffin is in. Shade has got the ball in the basket, finally for UConn.
And there was a mix-up defensively by Creighton. Shade wide open. It's a nice execution there by UConn in the under out of bounds play.
59-32. Creighton 3 minutes without points. Horan. The rainbow 3, no, and Edwards gets the rebound.
I keep thinking that those shots are going to start dropping.
Sure that Jim Flannery's thinking that too. Horan couldn't draw the foul call that time. Griffin goes strong to the rim and does.
See, the frustrating thing, as good as a play as that was by Aubrey Griffin, you got to make that layup. You got to come out of there with 3.
So Griffin will shoot free throws and a 5-player substitution for Jim Flannery. All 5 players that were on the floor get called to the bench. Now, some of the players that are coming back in are starters. But, don't often see 5 in, 5 out in basketball.
No, this isn't ice hockey.
And by the way, Creighton only has 10 players in uniform. So Aubrey Griffin makes the first of the 2 free throws. Griffin with 6 points in the ball game now, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the free throw line. 1 of 2 from the floor, and 2 rebounds for Aubrey. is Harshaw. This is break 14. Now Molly. Good ball movement for Creighton. That will be touchy.
Yeah, hand check on
Touchy
Mule.
foul on the floor. Mule will be called for her third. And a timeout on the floor here in Omaha. Inbounds plays. Here's Colmo's Court Vision.
Well, let's check out this play. Now, there's Ashlyn Shade, okay? And watch this kid, Kennedy Townsend. She's sort of the utility infielder that's just supposed to watch for anything coming down the middle of the lane. No one pays attention. Shade gets herself wide open. Nicely executed. Everyone in those white jerseys was looking for Paige Beckers.
Ashlyn Shade tonight with 9 points, 4 of 8 shooting, 4 rebounds, and just the 1 turnover in 21 minutes so far. So 4:56 to go in the third quarter, and free throws to be shot here by Brittany Harshaw, the redshirt freshman from Andover, Kansas. Played about 5 minutes a game. Andover outside of Wichita. And the Jays making as many free throws, now more free throws than they've made field goals in this game to this point. What would you say, both credit and discredit to UConn defensively on that? And going to be a foul called. That's going to be on Lockett, her first. A little obstruction on Becker's attempt.
Yeah, she was grabbing her.
His 4th team foul in the period on Creighton. UConn is already at the limit, so any foul from here to the end of the quarter, and the home team shoots free throws. Foul committed by UConn. Anyway. 20 to shoot for UConn. Edwards with the nice 2-person play with Beckers.
That was such a great slip there by Edwards.
Harshaw inbound to Miller. Defended by Shade. I think she got a hand on the ball. Knocked away. Drake looking for somebody to run. Here comes Lockett. Now she'll have to slow it down. And Morgan Molly. Her first made 3 of the night for the senior.
And UConn better continue to contest because those threes can come in a flurry.
Edwards between players, no. And maybe got lucky not to draw a foul call.
Yeah, I
Some
thought she was
contact coming
bumped
back
too.
in.
I thought she was bumped when she went up for the shot.
Harshaw. Miller, now Molly with the quick release over Edwards. That misses everything. Saved by Break. Cutting and drawing the contact was Harshaw.
Terrific cut by Harshaw.
Called the foul on Beckers. All right, so now shooting free throws is the 6'1" redshirt freshman from Andover, Kansas. As KK Arnold comes into the ball game for Nika Mule. So Leah Edwards is into double-double territory here tonight.
She's just been so dominant of late. Look at that, 6 double-double in the last 7 games. That is just consistency.
12 points, 10 rebounds tonight here for Aaliyah Edwards. Would she have your vote as an All-American with this kind of play?
If I had one. Absolutely.
Shade. And that's going to be a travel. Turnover by KK Arnold. Coach looking for some intensity and some focus here, huh? Ooh, behind the back for Miller. Count it. And a foul. And who is that that's down for UConn? Is that
Aubrey
Aubrey?
Griffin. She's grabbing her leg.
Chanel Francisco will come quickly from the bench as Griffin is surrounded by her teammates.
So there she is, 44.
Ooh. On the way up, she was
Yeah.
grabbing that leg. Oh, dear.
You can see her grimace in the air.
Oh. Yeah, you just hope for the best. They're going to help Aubrey directly in the direction of the UConn locker room.
Seen this too many times.
Yes. Teammates coming over.
Jake to the rescue, one of the managers.
Well, that is not a sight that anyone wants to see at any time. Now for this team who's already been through this so many times, how do they pick the energy back up and continue the fight in this game?
That's a great question. You just have to. You have to find the way. Try to just block it out. Play for 12 and a half more minutes.
Play for Aubrey. Here's Edwards, strong to the rim, got it. She goes tumbling into the photographers. Gets up behind the play, no foul call, but Aaliyah hustling back down the court. Here's Harshaw, no, and Beckers with the rebound for UConn. 25-point lead for the Huskies, only outscoring Creighton by a single point in this quarter as we come down to 2 minutes to go in the third. Beckers and Edwards again, the two-person game. $16 for Aaliyah, 19 for Page. KK Arnold has 11 for UConn. Lauren Jensen and Emma Ronsick, the only two in double figures for Creighton. Beckers knocked it away, but it went off Edwards and out of bounds.
You know, we mentioned, how do they pull it together after such a... Watching Aubrey Griffin go off injured. You go to your leaders. You go to the leaders of the team. Aaliyah Edwards, 2 outstanding plays in a row to kind of calm things down for UConn.
So, as Paige Beckers got that steal, she was latched onto by Morgan Molly. UConn asking for an intentional foul call. And they're going to stop and talk it over. Jill Vasili and Tiara Cruz discussing it. The third official is Fatu Sissoko Stevens. And Cruz is at the monitor.
So they're just saying it was a regular foul.
It'll be a 2-shot foul for...
Only because they've got 5 fouls.
Yes, 2-shot foul. Not an intention. So Page into the 20s again in scoring for UConn, adding those 2 from the free throw stripe as Aaliyah Edwards will go to the bench. Minute 43 to go, quarter 3. Ice Brady back into the ball game for UConn. UConn on a 6-0 run over the last 46 seconds to take this lead back up to 29, their largest of the ball game, equaling their largest. And that's going to be a foul on KK Arnold, and that's going to be her 4th. And And again, 5 out, 5 in for Creighton, although only 4 will go because one's got to shoot the free throws. And Caden Samuels comes into the ball game for KK Arnold. Gino was very emphatic in discussing with his team and with the media fouls. And there not really being very many excuses for them.
You know, and yeah, when the freshman comes out and she's just committed another foul that she really doesn't have to commit. She's quick enough to keep that kid in front. But sometimes you get tired, and that's when you start making bad decisions. And he's just trying to coach her through those moments.
Yep. Had a great game otherwise. But 11 points, 3 rebounds, but the 4 fouls. And this was a lane violation, so UConn giving an extra free throw away that Keone Lockheed cashed in on. So a minute 32 to go, quarter number 3. It is Mule, Brady, Beckers, Shade, and Samuels, the 5 on the floor for UConn. Samuels will get fouled by Jensen as she tried to step in for the steal. So that's the 2nd on Lauren Jensen, and Caden Samuels will shoot free throws at the stripe. So here's the freshman from Forestville, Maryland, who Gino said after the Marquette game on Sunday he has really high expectations of. Said she's got an unbelievable upside. Missed both ends of the free throws there. 3 points on 1 shot from long range in the game for Samuels to this point. Brady picks her up on the switch. There's Mogensen trying to get around Mule. Nice feed in to Ronsick, and the foul will be committed there by Samuels. That will be her 2nd. So Ronsick will shoot free throws in a very foul-filled third quarter.
Yeah, it's been ugly here. Choppy. When's the last time UConn has 9 fouls?
Just in this quarter alone. The first half, there were 14 fouls altogether for both teams. In this half quarter, there have been 15 for both teams. There's Brady for 3. No. Long rebound. Shade can't pull it in. It'll be Horan. Slows it down, looking for help. UConn's defense with pressure. Jensen will get it across the timeline. Only a 1-point difference between the two squads in this third quarter. As Beckers will cause a travel as Townsend had to stop and try and regroup. So UConn basketball, 31.9 to go in the period. And with a 30-second shot clock, UConn has plenty of time to work for the final shot. Of course, the big story of this period, Aubrey Griffin going down and being helped off to the locker room with 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the third quarter. And our thoughts certainly hoping the best for Aubrey. Here's Ashlyn Shade driving, gets fouled, and gets the bucket.
What an unbelievable finish here by the freshman. Strong take to the basket. Upper body strength, getting hit that hard, landing on the ground. Loving it.
So Emma Ronsick with her 3rd foul. Shade adds the extra. Last 3 games, 22 points against Butler, 20 against Toronto Metropolitan, 12 against Marquette. Look out. Ice Brady with the save. And the bucket at the buzzer puts an exclamation point on the end of the period for the Huskies.
And give Ice Brady credit for saving that ball to make that play possible.
The cross-court pass, Eric, Brady to Beckers, to a running Shade. The period.
You saw her grab her left leg at the end of that play, right there, while she was in the air and then laid on the ground. then helped off by Janelle Francisco and Gina Oriema. Not a good sight at all.
So we'll await any type of report we may get, though we feel fairly certain nothing is coming till at least after the game, and the only thing we know for sure is that Aubrey Griffin will not return to this ball game in its final 9 minutes and 37 seconds. We wish nothing but the best, and fingers crossed. KK Arnold back into the ball game with Paige Beckers. Ice Brady with the ball and the bucket. Nice play from Beckers to Brady.
Yeah, she was open for a while down there.
Caden Samuels and Ashlyn Shade, the others on the court to start this period for UConn. Here's Horan with Mogensen, Ronsick, Townsend, and Jensen, the 5 for Creighton. Shot clock at 7. Ronsick, too strong, ball bounced almost off the face of KK Arnold, and it went into the hands without possession, and so the time violation turns it all back to UConn.
So here, watch her screen. Open, open, open. Okay, get her the ball.
It's 3 points tonight for Ice Brady, and Paige Beckers, in addition to the 21 points, has 5 rebounds and 7 assists.
It's a complete game with still 8.5 to go.
Step back 3 here. Yes, nothing but net for Paige Beckers. That's 24. Her season high is 31, you'll remember. Mogensen around and out. Good fight for the rebound there for Samuels.
There's no doubt Beckers could score 40 a night if she wanted to. I think her coach would want her to.
He'd take it.
Her teammates would love it too.
Shade sees an opening, drives, draws the contact. Foul will be on Brittany Harshaw. You know, you see Caitlin Clark scoring 30, 35, 40 points very regularly for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Are they that different players that that's not Paige's game, or is it just they're that different teams?
You know, I think the teams are different. I think you've got to remember Paige was off the last year and a half. So Clark has a year and a half on her, and that makes a difference, that playing experience. But Clark, you know, is a tremendous scorer. But, you know, Paige has 24 points on 12 shots. She's 8 of 12 from the floor.
And has taken a seat on the bench in favor of Inesh Betancourt, who's into the ballgame for the first time with 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Arnold couldn't hold on to the steal. Knocked away from Jensen. And Shade retreats. Look at this, just chaos. Knocked out of bounds.
That's being kind.
That's going to be off of Brady. It'd be Creighton basketball. Ashlyn Shade up to 16 points to be on that scoring leaderboard for the Huskies. Here's Jensen driving. Samuels had a chance to try and step in there, but didn't want to leave her assignment open. And Lauren Jensen is up to double figures now with 10 points. Brady for 3. No. Going to be out of bounds off of UConn and be Creighton basketball. You know, something else from that, I'll call it rather ugly third period, shooting percentages, right? Creighton shot 20% from the floor in that period, 2 of 10. UConn shot 1 of 6 from 3 and only 38% from 2 in that period.
Like we said, I think earlier this evening, it's not always pretty.
Oh.
But if you would tell me, if you would have told me that UConn would be up 81-46 with just under 7 to play, I wouldn't have believed it.
Right. Creighton wouldn't have either. KK Arnold, a nice spinning move off the backboard with the ball. And Arnold is up to 13 points. Morgan Molly's had a slow night for Creighton. She's at 7 points, 3 of 8 shooting. Here's Jensen driving again over the top of Brady and missed. And comes back down the court expressing an opinion toward the referees about the lack of a call there. Gino looking for his team to move. Betcourt off the Brady screen, stops. Little short, Brady with the offensive board and gets tied up. It'll be UConn's basketball on the alternating possession arrow. Take it to the rim is brought to you by Duncan.
This is just the confidence of the freshman with the nice spin move to get past the defender for an easy layup. What a terrific move by KK Arnold in just, January of her freshman year. Imagine last year at this time, she was playing high school basketball.
Yes.
These kids have to grow up in a hurry.
Well, the combination of all of the injuries, roster changes, that kind of thing. As Nika Mule back into the ball game for Ashlyn Shade. Brady with the step back, just short.
See, Ice Brady likes to fade away, and what she needs to do in this college game, go strong to the basket, initiate contact.
Shot altered, I believe, by Harshaw. Missed everything. Here's Arnold at full speed. Molly steps in and hammers her.
A late whistle, too.
That will be the 3rd foul on Morgan Molly, and KK Arnold is going to shoot free throws for UConn. So all of these people have had to, Shade and Arnold and Samuels, they've had to, and even Brady, they've had to accelerate perhaps their learning curve greatly. Gino said after the Marquette game, I don't know where we'd be without the freshmen right now.
I mean, they are the difference in this team, the way they're playing, the 6-game win streak. As much as Aaliyah Edwards has been critical, the growth of the freshmen has been outstanding.
Yeah. Gino said they're young, but they're fun to coach.
I tell you what, these kids just love to play.
Arnold went for the steal, missed it. Mogensen kicks over to Harshaw. She stops and misses long. Brady with a nice rebound position there for UConn.
There's no one who plays with more joy than KK Arnold. I mean, her face, her expressions. The only one more joyful with her expressions is maybe her mother.
Yeah, yeah.
The greatest.
And I'll say this, too. I haven't seen a faster player than KK Arnold on the court this year.
Very fast. Very quick, very fast, with and without the ball.
Yeah. So out of bounds off of Arnold, and leads us to the media timeout midway through quarter number 4. Congratulations to the 2 seniors on the bench, not the freshmen.
Sunday, the Huskies are in D.C. for a Big East matchup as they look.
Consistency, dominance, and leadership. She's doing the same.
Yeah, she's 3 for 3 so far.
Kayla Miller misses, and Ice Brady with another rebound. It's Brady, Mule, Betcourt, Arnold, and Samuels, the 5 on the floor for UConn.
Nice cut by Arnold.
Brady sets a screen for Betcourt. Finds an open Samuels. Got it to go for 3.
She's a pure shooter, man. That looked good the minute it left her hand.
6 points, 2 of 3 from outside for Cadence. And that foul is going to be on, I believe, Inesh Betcourt. Her first. Nika Mule making headlines earlier tonight in the very early opening moments of this game when she recorded her 500th career assist. Remember setting the single season record for most assists, had the most assists in a game, a single game record, that both last year. And a player who's had to adjust her role and is just finding ways, I'll paraphrase her words, whatever my team needs to help it win.
Yeah, she's an unbelievable teammate. She's a fiery competitor. And if you would have thought when she got here as a freshman that she would have 500 assists, I don't think anyone would have believed it. But that's a credit to her will to win and her will to do whatever it takes.
Certainly a heart and soul player of this basketball team. Amari DeBerry into the ball game and with the ball. Looking to post up on Morgan Molly. Pass was a little too tall, and that'll be a turnover. I talked about some of those numbers from a season ago for Nika Mule. I mean, look at those
What's
numbers.
more telling, the statistics or her face?
I think you have a point there. I think you have a point.
One of the toughest competitors to ever put on a UConn uniform.
That 500 career assists, not quite making it into the top 10 all time at UConn, but there's time.
And I tell you, as fiery of a competitor as she is, she's one of the greatest kids you'll ever be around.
Here's that speed from KK Arnold. The steal and the score. And the huge smile coming back down the court. 17 for KK. Miller. Good defense by UConn to cut off Lockett. 7-6 to shoot. Lockett will throw it up over everything. And Samuels comes down with it in traffic. Ball on the floor. And
KK Arnold comes up with it. Wow.
Out of the scrum. And
10-second violation.
Okay, I guess shot clock must have restarted out of, when the ball was first out of the scrum, I guess. I don't know.
He's confused too.
Yeah, that would probably
and
be.
I thought the possession was when KK Arnold grabbed the ball.
Either way, turned over to Creighton here. Jim Flannery taking opportunity of the lopsided score to get some of his young players into the ball game, like Michaela Miller, 6'1" freshman from Kansas, just got the bucket. Do you know where Cimarron, Kansas is?
I do not.
It's out near the Colorado border. Population 2,000. I looked it up. Amari DeBerry, no. Samuels with the save.
How about the hustle of this UConn team? Even up a lot, still scrapping.
That was a little bit of a wild shot. No foul call. So UConn averaging 82.8 points per game this season. That will be a crashing foul. And that'll be called on Creighton. Gary Apple and Kara Walters will have a full recap of tonight's game. Plus, you'll get to hear Gino Auriemma's post-game news conference on the UConn Women's Basketball post-game show, presented by your local New England Honda dealers immediately after the game. So UConn averaging 82.8 points per game in this season. They put up 90 tonight. Creighton averaging 75 a game. They're at 50 right now with less than 2 minutes to go. Creighton has never scored more than 60 in a game against UConn.
How about that roll from Caden Samuels? Wow.
She's up to 8 points, and that's going to be, it's going to hit the sideline. Turned over to UConn. So we talked about coming off the holiday break, opening with back-to-back games against ranked conference opponents. And UConn has sent them both away frustrated.
Impressive games back-to-back that I think UConn really needed for their own psyche.
By the way, Marquette lost at St. John's tonight, 57-56. And foul called in traffic. That's going to be on Jamie Horan, as both the encouraging sides of the performance, no doubt, and the difficult side of the evening on the mind of the head coach as we get to his final minute. So Sunday, it's on to Georgetown for the Huskies, then home to Providence, who beat DePaul today at home. Arnold can't get that to go. Samuels ties up for the rebound, and on the jump ball, it'll go to Creighton on the alternating possession arrow. KK Arnold, 17 points. Ashlyn Shade, 16. Caden Samuels, 8 tonight for the freshman. Ice Brady, 3 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. There's Horan. Short on the 3. Amari DeBerry with the rebound. So Georgetown has had a pretty good start to this season as well. The Huskies will need to be ready for that on Sunday. As Shade gets fouled, trying to turn around and go up with that one. And it'll be on Horan, her 3rd in the ball game. So Georgetown a winner over Butler, 60-55 tonight. That was a come-from-behind win. And the Hoyas off to a pretty good start under their new coach. And they won't, I mean, remember the game at Georgetown last year? What a challenge it was for UConn. I mean, that was a scrappy fight.
Is it cliche to say it was a dog fight?
Wow.
I can't believe I went there.
Wow. Hey, at this point in the game and in this game, good on you. Final 15 here in Omaha, so the Huskies will remain undefeated against the Blue Jays as they will take the 8th meeting between the two teams by a wider margin than I think anyone could ever have imagined coming into this one. Your final score from Omaha is UConn 94, Creighton 50. The Huskies advance on to 3-0 in Big East play, and now 11 wins against 3 losses in this season. For Creighton, they'll pick up their 3rd loss of the season and fall to 1-2 in Big East play after a loss up at Marquette a couple of weeks ago. Our player of the game presented by your local Hyundai dealers. I think she was our player of the game against Marquette as well, wasn't she? 2 in a row for Paige Beckers. 24 points. There was a point in the game, pretty good ways into it, where she had only missed 1 shot all night. Ends up 8 of 12, 4 of 5 from outside, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. And Paige Beckers, our player of the game. The head coach is with Chelsea Sherrod.
Coach, congrats on the win, but I have to ask you about Aubrey, if you have any updates, and how do you pick your team up after seeing something like that happen again?
I don't know. I mean, it was, there was no contact on it. She just turned to go someplace, and I don't know. I'm going to find out, obviously, when we get in there. But, you know, I mean, what are you going to say? You know, it's just, at this point, I don't have any words for that. I don't.
Coming into this week, you talked about how important it was to get these wins against Marquette and Creighton. What position, or how do you feel about the position that your team is in after getting 2 big wins against these schools?
Well, we were talking about it, you know, obviously, you know, this is it's a tough way to start the conference, right? You're playing, you know, 2 ranked teams, one on the road, and now we got another road game coming up. And it's going to make us, you know, be a little tighter, you know, connect with each other more, communicate better. I think these 2 games were really, really hard for us, you know, 2 tough assignments defensively, and I thought it would be really hard for us to play better defense than we have, you know, Sunday and today. I'm just really, really proud of our team, and I just hope that, you know, I just hope that everything turns out okay and we can sustain it.
Aaliyah Edwards got her 6th double-double within the last 7 games. How has she just been able to be an anchor for this team on the offensive end? Well,
you know, you look back at all our best teams ever, you have to have a scoring threat inside. That person has to be able to score, and they've got to rebound. And, you know, you look at what Aaliyah's doing right now. You know, she's a senior. Our team is going to go as well as Aaliyah goes, and then Paige on the outside. So if we can have those 2 playing at the level that they're playing right now, especially these last 2 games, then I think we have a chance to do something. But it starts with those two, no question about it.
All right, Coach, congrats. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thoughts of Chino Auriemma as he heads back toward the UConn locker room on a night when the Huskies absolutely took it to a top 25 team on the road. Big win for UConn, and we're coming back to Omaha.